SB from the Barefoot Trainer here. We have some stretch routines for the days that you're not running or for after a run when you feel like you need a little bit more time to stretch. So this will help you ease the tightness and soreness that may develop when you're training. So it's crucial to preventing imbalances and injuries and will help you improve your performance, meaning you'll be able to run faster and longer. So great, let's get started. Start in mountain pose. Arms sweep up to the ceiling and swan dive down to forward fold. Now go into flat back. You can support your hands on your knees and then get a little deeper in your forward fold. Lovely. Now put your hands on the floor and step back slowly into plank. Make sure to engage your core in plank. And here we want to rock back and forth on the balls of our feet to our toes of our feet to stretch out those feet. Spend as much time here as you need. Your feet get a pounding when you're running. Now press into your hands. Try to get your heels onto the floor and find your downward dog. Now pedal your feet out. Left and right, left and right. Try to get your heels down to the ground as best you can. Now jump your feet forward or step forward. Go into flat back again. Suck in your belly, forward fold. Beautiful. Reverse swan dive up. And hands to prayer. Let's try it again. Up to the ceiling, swan dive down. Step back into plank 1 foot at a time. And let's rock back and forth from the balls of our feet to our toes. Now, push your tushy up, find your downward dog, and here wiggle a bit to stretch out your hips and back. Take your time here. Now arch your back, go back into plank. Do a chaturanga down, bringing your chest to the floor. Make sure that your elbows are pinched towards your chest and the tops of your feet are long. Now press the weight into your hands and go back into downward dog and pedal. Great. Now jump back to the front of your mat, flat back, forward fold, reverse swan dive up to the ceiling, and hands to prayer. Great. Level 2. Hands up to the ceiling, swan dive down. Kick back into plank. Do your upward dog. Stretch out your shoulders here. Now tuck your toes under and push your tushy up to downward dog. Now bring your right leg high. And bring your right leg forward into a deep runner's stretch. You can heel toe it out to the outside of your right arm. Option 1 is hands to floor. Option 2 is elbows to floor. Option 3, bring your chest to the floor. This is also called lizard. You'll see why. To come out of it, press your weight into your hands or get back onto your elbows. And bring your right leg back to meet your left into plank. Great. Now, downward dog again. Bring your feet up to the front of your mat, flat back, forward fold over. Reverse swan dive up to the ceiling and up. Swan dive down, hands to the floor. Come into flat back. Forward fold. You can get some more distance here. Now either walk or jump your feet back into plank. Chaturanga down. You're in upward dog now. Make sure your feet are long and that your legs are parallel. Tuck your toes under and go into your downward dog. Left leg high. Now bring that left foot through to a deep runner stretch. Bring it outside your arm. And you can go into elbows here if you desire. Or bring your chest to the floor into lizard. Play with it. Find what works for you. Now bring that left leg back to meet the right. Downward dog. Push those shoulders away from the ears. Pedal your feet out some more. Right leg high. Now, hip openers. So keep your palms down, but you open up that right hip. You should feel this all down your right side waist and down your right leg. And back up. And bring it back into downward dog. Let's try the other leg. Left leg up and over. And up. And bring that left leg to meet the right. Great. Bring the right leg up. And bring it outside the right wrist. Now bring your left leg outside the left wrist. This is called Malasana. Press your hands together in prayer, and with your elbows, press your knees away from each other. You should feel this in your upper thigh. Rock back and forth, playing with changing the weight from foot to foot. And then here, play with shifting the weight to your hands, just for a beat. But do make sure to hold it longer each time. And unlike me, try to control it down. Now we're in cobbler's pose. Feet together. Suck in your belly and fold over so that your chest is to your feet. Try to get that back as flat as you can. This is hard. This is a difficult pose for many. Now bring that right leg back. And we're going to turn this into back twist to the left. So bring your right hand to your left knee and look behind you. Ground that left hand for stability. Make sure your chest is out and your shoulders are back. Now let's switch legs. Left leg back, left arm to right knee, and look behind you. Beautiful. bring it forward. Now let's tuck your legs under for a seated quad stretch. You can place a pillow under your tushy if you need it. Now let's go into our cat and cows. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. And arch your back up into cat. Inhale and exhale into cow. Arch your back up, inhale, exhale, down. Inhale up, exhale, down. Beautiful work. Now, for option 2, lift your knees 1 inch off of the floor and continue your cat-cows. You're going to feel this in your core for sure. It's difficult. Now, sit back on your heels for a camel, hands further away, the harder it is, and arch your back. You don't have to go back as far as I am. This is difficult for many with back issues. So option 2 was to bring your hands further away from your feet. Option 3, bring your elbows or your back to the floor. You're going to definitely feel this in your quads. Now, if this is too much for you, I'm going to show you another way to do a quad stretch. Now bring your left foot into your tush. And hold. And then swing your left foot to the front for a hip stretch here. Just play with this for a few beats. Definitely wiggle in the stretch to make it work for you. Now let's switch legs, bringing your right foot into your tushy to stretch out that quad. And then when you're ready, swing that foot in front for a nice hip stretch. You can get onto your elbows if you desire. You don't have to, but do wiggle in it. Okay, let's get our roller. Roller time. So sit down on your tush with the roller in front of you with your legs on top. And now let's start rolling our calves out. So you want to roll side to side. If you need more pressure, put one leg on top of the other, or even lift that other leg up. And if you find a hot spot, stay there until it releases. Guaranteed you're going to have hot spots because of all the running you've been doing. Now let's switch legs to your left calf. I'm working my way up the calf as well as rolling back and forth left to right. Looking for hot spots. Now for less pressure, put your tushy down and put both legs on the roller. So play with it and see what works for you. Now let's move the roller up to our hamstrings. Guaranteed to be the tightest muscles in your body. You're doing all that running. So get onto the roller, tushy is up off the floor, and roll back and forth and side to side. Spend time here. Your body will thank you for it. press pause even if you need more time. Or if not, switch legs to your left hamstring. Now for less pressure, you can put the right foot on the floor. For more pressure, put that right leg on top of the left. You can also play with how much weight your hands are bearing underneath you. Now let's go up to our glutes. So scoot up on the roller and rock back and forth and find some of those knots. Find those knots. So here I've lifted both feet up off the floor because I really need some pressure there on the side of my hip. I have a hot spot right there. It's been bothering me for weeks and I can't get rid of it. But if you don't need to bring your feet up. You can bring your feet on the ground if you need. Now let's switch sides to the left. Rock over to the left side. Play with how much weight your hands are bearing. When you find a hot spot, sit on it. Now, let's work on our IT bands on our right side. So ground that left foot, both hands to the floor, and just work your way up and down the IT bands, which go all the way down the right side of that right leg. IT bands are very nearly always tight, so really spend some time here. Like I said, if you need less pressure, press into your hands or press that foot into the floor and lift your hips up to bring more of the weight into your hands. Now let's switch sides to the left IT band. Place the roller under your quads, come into Sphinx plank. Roll side to side. Guaranteed you're going to have tons of knots here. So take your time, and when you find a knot, sit on it. Over time, the knots will dissipate, so give it time. If you need more pressure, lift one of your legs up and just roll that other leg. So there's less surface area on that roller, more pressure. Now switch to your left quad. And when you're ready, let's roll our back. If you have long hair, you might want to tie it up here because it gets underneath the roller and really hurts when you get it caught underneath that roller. And now move up to your mid back and roll side to side. And then work your way up to your traps and upper lats. Nice. Now roll over to the side and put one arm over the roller so you can really get into the upper lat and rear deltoid. Now let's roll out the right side, right upper lat and right deltoid. Doesn't look like much, but these are very small movements. It feels like somebody putting their elbow just where you need it into those hot spots. Come on up, put that roller aside, and get your band. Woo, dizzy. Band time. So let's stretch out our hamstrings. Place the band onto the right foot and lean back and pull slightly. Try to keep your knee as straight as you can. If you bend your knee, you'll get more distance, but if you straighten your knee, you'll get a deeper stretch. And play with pointing and flexing your feet. Although if you flex your feet too far with the band on it, the band will roll and smack you in the face. I have done this quite a few times. Now let's do some circles on the ceiling. Baby circles. Baby circles the other direction. Now make them bigger. What you're looking for here is control. You want these circles to be as smooth as you can make them. This is where the band comes in really helpful. Now other direction, big circles. And let the leg drift over to the right side. Relax the left hip to the floor, make sure that's not coming up, and just relax into it. And bring that leg to the other side. Keep that shoulder down on the ground. The hip might come up, but you do want to try to keep that hip down as close to the floor as you can. Right leg to left side. Bring that knee to your chest, let go of the band, and lean back. Relax. Now let's switch legs. Put the band on your left foot. Point and flex those toes. Play with straightening and bending the knee. And let's do some baby circles. In other direction. And let's make them bigger, but keep them smooth and controlled. And other direction, nice and big. Other direction. And when you're ready, bring that left leg over to the left side. And bring that foot to center and over to the right. Keeping that left shoulder down, you can ground your left hand if you need. Keep that left hip down as close to the floor as you can. And bring that knee into your chest and lean back. Relax here. Now bring both legs into your chest. This might be hard for you if you have sciatica, so please be careful. You don't have to bring both legs into your chest at one time. Now let's do some more hamstring stretches, forward folds. If you need a pillow to place under your tush, that might work for you. If you have lower or mid-back issues, placing a pillow under your tush might help you. This is a really hard pose for me, so I need that pillow. Okay, so point your feet and flex them a little bit. And let's do some external rotations for the feet. Switch directions. Now get your band. Bring your right foot in to a half cobblers. Wrap that band around your left. Suck in your belly and forward fold down. If you're super flexible, you can put a block on the outside of your foot. But if you're not, if you can't reach your foot, that's where the band comes in handy. So every time you do this, just walk your hands closer to your feet using that band. Now to make sure that your knee doesn't pop up, put your right foot on top of that left knee. That will prevent that left knee from popping up. It will give you a deeper stretch. And when you're ready, come up and let's switch legs. So bring your left foot in to half cobblers. Get that band, wrap it around your right foot. Suck in that belly, straighten up your back, and forward fold down. Walk your hands to your feet. We're working a lot on our hamstrings here because for runners, hamstrings get notoriously tight, so we need to spend a lot of time on them. Again, put that left foot on top of the right to keep the right from popping up. Now bring the band over both feet. Suck it in, back as straight as you can, and forward fold over. Walk your hands to your feet. You can rock here if you want, stretching out different strips of muscles, both in your hamstrings and in your back. It's always a good idea to wiggle. Now tuck your toes under and sit back on your heels, or you can put the pillow in between your tushy and your heels if you want. And then let's do some camels. Now just go into child's pose. Relax that back. Relax those shoulders. And let's take a wide stance here. Come up from the strength of your legs. And pivot on that left foot and turn it into a beautiful triangle. Right hand to the ceiling. Shoulder back, chest out. Try to look up if you can. This is a tough balance move, but it definitely improves with practice. Now, you need to adjust your back foot so that it's facing parallel and it's hip width apart. And this is pyramid pose. So just let it hang here, trying to keep your legs as straight as possible. Now walk your hands to the center and sit back on that left heel. Turn this into archer's pose to the left. So pretend that you have a bow in your hand here. You're shooting an arrow into the sky. Walk your hands over. Pivot into a deep runner stretch here. You see how I'm wiggling back and forth, making this work. Come up from the strength of your legs and triangle to the right. Both legs are straight here, but in triangle, your back foot is not pointing in the same direction as your right foot. But in pyramid, as you see here, I don't quite have that back foot parallel, but you need to. And fold over. Walk your hands forward slightly. Sit back on that right heel and archers to the left. Put your hands down. Pivot to the right into a deep runner's stretch.
Walk your hands to the middle and just hang here. You can grab your ankles if you want, or you can just let your hands go to the floor, or you can hold on to your elbows here. But do let your head hang. You don't want to crimp your neck at all. And this is an option too, to bring the opposite hand over up to the sky. Walk your hands to the right, right hand up. Walk your hands to center and over to the left again. And turn this into a pigeon with your left foot forward. Holding onto your feet and one onto your thigh, forward fold. If you don't want to forward fold here, you can just keep your back straight up. And that might be enough of a stretch for you. That's totally fine. Now to come out of this, press your weight into your hands, and you're doing a plank for a split second and then switching legs. Bringing your right leg forward into pigeon. You might have to adjust your hips here a little bit. Sometimes your back leg gets crooked, so you might have to straighten that out. And suck in your belly and forward fold. Or not. Lift up, swing that left leg over the right and turn it into double pigeon. So your knees are in line with your feet. Suck it in, forward fold over, press into your feet. Keep them active. You'll get more of a stretch out of it if you press into your thighs or into your feet. Now lift up and switch legs. So right foot over left knee. Suck it in, forward fold. Beautiful. Come on up. Swing that right leg back. Press your weight into your hands. Have a little plank here. This is the last one, I promise you. Push it into downward dog. Pedal those feet out. Stretch out those calves. Stretch out those Achilles. And walk your feet forward to your hands. Lift up to the ceiling and into prayer. You did it. Good job.